Hi, I'm Eileen Bild, and I am with OTEL Talk. Today, I have Dr. Tracey Johnson, and she is a metaphysician with a PhD in philosophy, specializing in holistic life coaching. She's a practitioner of the heart. She's an author, speaker, and host of a Journey into the Heart radio show and Allowing Love on the Women's Spiritual Network. Hi, Tracey. I'm so happy to have you here today.
Hello. I'm so excited to be here. I just get so excited to have the opportunity to share my heart, my story, my purpose, and all of that good stuff. So I appreciate you allowing me the space to do it.
You're welcome. And I'm excited to have you here to share your story because, you know, the heart is such an important part of everybody's life. And the story, the journey that you've been through, the story you tell, and your book, Broken Open, a truthful journey into your heart, full of just wonderful information. And I love how you outline the steps and the things that occurred for you over time and how your heart broke open in a beautiful, almost magical way. So we're going to start today with what is the truthful journey into my heart?
Well, it's about my journey and me sharing with others the things that I experienced and went through, and like as you may mention, the different steps in which others can do the same. And I remember when I first, started, and I just was trying to figure out what I was going to name the book or title the book, and it changed like several times, and it was just so funny because at first I was going to name it, Open Your Heart, Allowing Love, and things of that nature. And then one day it just hit me. It's like, no, you're going to talk about taking a truthful journey into the heart, not just a journey, but a truthful journey, because so often we do things and to escape ourselves, and we don't want to deal with what's going on within our hearts or allow our hearts to reveal to us what's going on that's affecting us from experiencing what we truly desire. So in order for us to do that, we have to be, like the saying, be true to thy own self. But in order for you to do that, you have to take a journey within and look at things from a perspective of just allowing yourself to experience whatever it is that's being revealed in the moment at that time.
And I'm going to say it's scary to do that deep dive into the heart.
Yes, it is. It is. And, like looking at where we are in terms of even being, shut down and having to not being able to escape by doing all these different things that we so accustomed to doing, like even going into work or going to the movies or going out to bars and things of that nature. We couldn't do anything. And there's a lot of individuals that had challenges with sitting with themselves. And I just think that, Broken Open changed my life, the book Broken Open, but so many people have a hard time with doing that. And the other side of that is they don't even know how. So, that's the reason why I'm so grateful that it was given to me and that I have the opportunity to assist individuals in doing the same.
So let's take it back a little bit and let's talk about what your journey was up to the point that you wrote this book. What did you share with us what you went through and any highlights that could be important for someone who's listening to this interview?
Well, most often when we are going through challenges or we have what we call a broken heart, our heart has been broken as a result of a relationship or disappointments in terms of losing a loved one or a job or it's anything that will cause us to experience, a tremendous amount of pain within our hearts. And like I said, people always say that our hearts were broken, but I would say that it is broken open for the treasure that's within our earthen vessels to come forth. So when when my journey started, it was as a result of my heart, as I saw it as being broken at that time due to a relationship. And so when that happens, it just causes us, because we can't find anything outside of us when it's to that degree or that level to help us to alleviate that pain, that we've run out of different things to numb it, right? So I just said, oh my God, I need to do something. And I remember listening to a message. I sometimes listen to YouTube messages to receive encouragement or upliftment, just looking for something to give me some relief. And it was a woman that shared, how your heart will speak to you, like it will answer you if you ask questions. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to try that. And so one day I decided to ask my heart, what makes you sad? And before I could even think of the answer, because I didn't know the answer, I truly wanted to know if this is true, where your heart will respond to you and answer you, then I need to know what makes it sad, because I was sad. And so my heart said, when you don't listen to me. And I was like, oh my God, my heart did respond. Oh, because I knew I did not know that answer. And so from that point on, I began to communicate and connect with my heart. It wasn't like right away that I was consistent in doing it, but as time went on and I had challenges, then I didn't know where to get my answer from because nobody had the answer. Then I said, you know what, I'm going to speak to my heart and ask my heart. And so when I talk about your heart, I'm talking about that aspect that is one with all that is, that part of you that, some of us say God, some call it your higher self, some say the universe, whatever it is, it's that part of you that is one with all and knows all. And so when on my as I did my course studies, when I did the research and things of that nature, I learned so many powerful things about the heart and how your heart is intuitive. And there were tests that they gave several hundred individuals where they put them in front of a computer and they would have a picture, they would, do a slide of a picture to see how the heart would respond to that picture. And they noticed that the heart responded to the picture even before it appeared on the screen. So it was like pictures that would evoke fear or joy or, some type of emotion, but the heart responded to it before the picture even appeared on the screen again. And so like when I talk about taking a truthful journey into my heart, allowing myself to receive, the answers that I seek. And I like say that sometimes the truth hurt, your heart will be honest with you if you open yourself up to receive the answers, regardless of what it may be and how hard it might be to answer or receive the answer to the question that you ask. So.
Thank you for sharing that. That's an interesting study that they did, which causes me to kind of take a step back, and contemplate how connected we really are with our heart and what's out there outside of us, and how much things always circle right back to the heart center and that unconditional part of what love really is. Because I believe that love is, it's not like we have to seek it and we have to find it. It's there. And I think you discovered that in your broken heart journey of going inward and discovering, oh, it's already in me, it's already here. And then it was finding ways to connect with that, which then led you to the next stage of your journey, which we can talk now then about your 12 layers of love. And I really think that the way you outline those and the order in which the layers peeled and they opened up is amazing. And when you think about that order, how they um, developed, how they develop you as a person. So, go ahead and share those 12 layers of love. And as I listen, I may have some questions along the way.
Okay, that sounds good. And so, like, the 12 layers of love points to the experience and manifestation of love within your heart. Okay. And so, one of the reasons or the way in which I discovered that, again, as a result of taking a truthful journey into my heart and connecting with my heart, and to be able to clearly define what love looks like and feels like. And so when I experienced the different 12 layers of love is at different times on my journey where, my heart revealed to me as I build a relationship with my heart. And that's one of the key things in terms of the journey is, so often we put ourselves second, third, fourth, fifth, or sixth. And when we wake up in the morning, because I always tell individuals when I would coach my clients, and I want to share this part first, is to, your heart is like, it's that relationship with you, right? And it's sometimes it's difficult for us to build that relationship and to experience the love that we truly desire from the inside out. But if you build a relationship with your heart, like, for example, when I wake up in the morning, I say good morning to my heart. And so when I have workshops or I do, my coach, my clients, I always say, just ask your heart, what is her name? Or what is his name? Like when I have individuals, and they would always say, well, how am I supposed to know? I say, well, if I say, what is your name? You will tell me immediately because you know your name. So your heart will do the same thing. So when I asked my heart, I said, what is your name? She said, her name is Bell. And it's spelled B-E-L-L because L means God. So again, it's that aspect of me that is one with God. So as I continued on my journey with my, in terms of my building a relationship with my heart, Bell revealed to me the different layers within that aspect of who I am, her. She's letting me know this is a layer of love. So I'll share the different layers. Okay. And so I have my heart scan cards because I created something called a heart scan process, and we'll talk about those a little later. But one of the manifestations of love is knowledge. Okay. Knowledge is a manifestation, the experience of love. And that points to the knowledge of who you are. Okay. And you experiencing your purpose and your power and your, what you're passionate about. So knowledge is a manifestation of love, because whenever you're able to experience that aspect of who you are, then, you are able, it's like, I'll just, say, I'll share the definition, because one of the layers is the foundation of all the layers is love, right? We say manifestation and experience. So I'll share what the definition was given to me, which also helped me to experience the different 12 layers, is that the love is all there is. It is the creative force which gives life to everything and everyone. It is experienced and expressed in many different ways, meaning the 12 layers of love. But to the degree in which your heart is open to allow love from the inside out will be to the degree that you will experience it and have the capacity to express it. Okay. Mm-hmm. And so that's where my process that I created to help individuals connect with their heart, it came about based on the experience of love from the inside out. But if your heart is blocked, you're not able to experience those layers. So knowledge is one, and then love, as I shared, that's the foundation of all of the layers. Then passion is the experience of love within your heart. It's like a force to be reckoned with. It's like something like the power that's within you wrapped up in whatever it is that you choose and desire. Okay. And then prosperity. So when we talk about prospering, what I say, the first level of prosperity is the heart that's free of emotional blocks, because you're able to prosper when your heart is open. Because what happens is, and another thing that I learned in my research, is that your heart creates a magnetic field that draws things to you, that it, is a magnet. So if you have blocks, emotional blocks, then it causes your magnet to be weak. And then you're not able to fully manifest, or it takes a really long time, because just think about it. When a magnet there's nothing, obstructing the magnet, then it has a lot of power to draw things to you. That's what law of attraction really is. It's that magnetic field that attracts, people, places, and things into your life. Okay. And then the next one is innocence. And innocence is about being free of any guilt and shame. Because so often we carry a lot of guilt and shame in our heart because of choices and decisions that we made. We are like our worst critics, and we often beat ourselves up. So innocence is another manifestation of love, meaning that experience of just letting go and, letting yourself off the hook and living in the now moment. Okay. And then the next one is power. Power is the manifestation of love, because again, it's that creative force that gives life to everything, to every situation, every circumstance, every individual that you open your heart and you allow that power of love to, help to uplift or encourage, another. It just can be used in many different ways and experienced in different ways. And then peace. Peace is that peace that surpasses all understanding. I know, I grew up in the church, so I know a lot of scriptures. And so when we talk about peace that surpasses all understanding, it's like when you're in that center point where all the 12 layers of love lie. It's like when you're in alignment with who you are and were created to be. And then trust. Trust is another manifestation of love, because, that's another thing that I found, that the individuals that I coach, they have a hard time trusting themselves, especially if they've been on a journey where they've had what they call a number of heartbreaks. But again, I'm looking at things from a higher perspective. Your heart wasn't broken, just broken open so that you can experience that power that's within. Okay. And then forgiveness, that's major. Forgiveness is another manifestation of love, is letting go. It's seeing yourself and others from the eyes of non-judgment. So forgiveness is a big thing. Mm-hmm.
That's a hard one for people.
Yes. And the first and foremost person we have to forgive is ourselves. Yeah. We have to forgive ourselves, because forgiveness and again, it's a manifestation of love. And I've heard many times that forgiving another is not for them, it's for you. Yeah. Right? Because whenever you hold unforgiveness in your heart, there you go again. That's an emotional block, something that's blocking you from experiencing you. Okay. And then the next one is joy. Joy is a manifestation of love in your heart. It is the joy of being who you truly are. When you're able, yes, to be who you truly are. Just not being concerned about, what someone thinks or how they feel, just being you. That's just free. Your heart, whenever you do that, the reason why you experience joy, because your heart is just free, just free. Okay. And so we know how it feels to be free, right? Especially when we've been weighed down with so many different things. And when we finally are able to allow ourselves to just be who we are, there we go. And it's wonderful. And integrity is another manifestation and experience of joy. And that's lining up with who you are again. Integrity is about your what you think, how you feel, and what you do are all in alignment. So often we have, again, individuals that I, share in workshops and coaching. They'll say one thing, they'll feel something different, and they'll do something totally different. That doesn't work. Right. Well, a lot of us don't realize that's what's going on. That's the reason why we're not able to, manifest, is because we're all over the place.
And
And
then you keep
so how
having this, yeah, and then you keep having the same experience over and over, and you're thinking it's the other person or the other people.
right, right,
Yeah.
right. And the last one, last but not least, in terms of the pile that wasn't in any particular order, is intimacy. And so I always say intimacy is into me, I see.
I like
So
that.
often, yes, into me, I see. That feels good, right? It feels good to
Mm.
feel. And that points to taking a truthful journey into your heart and seeing who you truly are. Because every single one of us has the 12 layers of love within our heart. And in any given time, moment in time, we can experience it. It's just about us and, going back to the definition, to the degree in which your heart is open to allow love from the inside out,
I
will
love
be to the
that.
degree that you experience these 12 layers of love.
I love that. Thank you for sharing. That's all explained in the book in a little bit more detail. And
Yes.
yeah, so I think you have a whole chapter on that. Something that came to mind as you were reading through those for years, and it wasn't until, I don't know, maybe the last 5, 6 years, um, I had like an epiphany, I a lot of times when I'm laying down, whether it's just on the sofa or getting ready to go to bed or wake up, um, I have my hand here and my other one on my stomach. It's just like an automatic position that I lay my hands. And it made me think about your 12 layers, and that this is my way, my body, my heart of connecting, all those layers for me. And I think
Mhm.
that's, a really cool way of breaking open the heart, but going inside to understand that connection with the self. So do you
Yeah.
have any, have you ever experienced that where you're laying and all of a sudden you realize, your hands are in certain positions over the heart or, somewhere in that area?
Yes, that's a practice because that's how I connect to my heart. I mean, I've been doing that for a long time, at the beginning of my journey. And one of the things that I, lead and guide my clients to do is to put their hand on their heart. And before I have the process that I talk about, the heart scan process, I have the individual put their hand on their heart and imagine breathing love in and out of their heart. Because when they do that, it takes you directly into your heart space and you can feel it. You can feel the shift. And then there are some clients that they don't feel it right away. And that's because they have so many emotional blocks. But if you continue to practice, I mean, that's like a quick meditation that could take you right there in that center point to just close your eyes, put your hand on your heart and focus and just imagine breathing love in and out of your heart. And it feels so good because now, like when I put my hand on my heart, it starts to beat, because that's the practice. And it's like Belle, as I may mention, my heart name is Belle. It's like she responds to me. It's just like you just giving your heart a little hug or,
Mhm.
sending it love from the inside, from the outside in. And it just feels so good. So that's awesome that you do that because it's
Yeah.
amazing. And I would say that the listeners or those who are watching to try it,
Yeah. I'll have
especially
to,
when you're going through something. Mhm.
especially what?
When you're going through something that that's difficult, just take a moment. And that's one of the ways that you can love you. Because when you imagine bringing love in and out of your heart, you're loving on yourself.
Yeah. That's beautiful. And, I've never asked my heart if she has a name. I'm into names and taking your name and breaking it down, but I've never thought about asking my heart. So I'm gonna have to do that. I won't do it now, but I
Yeah,
will.
yeah, that's what I was gonna say. You should do that. And a lot of times people they get all in their head. I always say you got to shift from your mind to your heart because when
Mhm.
you know your name, she knows her name. So when
Yeah,
you say put your hand on your heart, you say, "What is your name?" And the first name that comes up, that's her name.
that's her name.
Okay.
Okay, I'll let you
So
know
you should.
what it comes up to be.
Okay. Yes, that'll be good. Because I have to remember two names when I'm coaching or doing workshops and things of that nature. So my clients, I have to remember their heart's name and their name because every now and again I'll check in with their heart and say, how is Bell doing, and they get all excited because it
Wow,
helps them to continue to focus and connect with their heart.
that's great. I have a question. So, have you done research or just from having clients and doing your own personal journey? Um, have you asked enough people either what does love mean to them or do they love themselves? I have found that when I ask people those questions, they either can't answer it or
Mhm.
they don't know, or, there's a lot of mystery around it for them. Have you found that to be true as well?
Oh, yes, definitely. I was one of them before I started
Oh,
this journey, and I stopped and I was like, wait a minute, I don't even know what love looks like to me. And that was the reason why I wrote the chapter is called The Call to Love. It came from me having to really be still and listen to my heart and allow my heart to reveal to me what love looks like for me. And it was, that was one of the things, that was the biggest thing. And the way it unfolded was, I decided after going through the heartbreak as far as relationship was concerned, to be my own soulmate. So often we just look outside ourselves, trying to find a soulmate, and we're, disappointed, or our heart's been broken. And I said, you know what? I'm going to be my own soulmate, and I need to know what that looks like. So I sat down and I had a conversation with Belle. And I basically said, what does that look like? So I just went, I started thinking about the things that I had challenges with, and then looking at the relationships that I've been in and the things that I desired and expected for them to demonstrate to me in terms of how to love me. And I was like, wait a minute, I'm not even doing that for myself. So why would I expect somebody else to do it? And so I started writing down based on the lack thereof, just because that's what I use as far as my blueprint in terms of what I did not experience in a relationship. And so I was like, okay. And one of the biggest things that I felt, because I was one that would beat myself up a lot because I used to be a perfectionist. And so one of the biggest things that really made me feel like, oh my God, that would be so wonderful to do this, is to let myself off the hook.
mm,
That was one of the biggest things that my heart revealed to me, to demonstrate love to me. And even like now, I feel like a little tears that, because for so long I would beat myself up because I didn't think something was done right, or I made the wrong choices and things like that. And it was like, live right here, right now, and let yourself off the hook for anything that you thought you should have done, for anything that you've done, and it just let yourself off the hook. And I was like, oh my goodness, that would be so wonderful. And that's what I've been doing, letting myself off the hook. And it feels so good. So
that's awesome.
yes,
So then you stopped
yes,
being so hard on yourself.
yes. And so many people, and that's another thing, like in my book, I take you, through a process to assist you in identifying what love looks like to you and what it feels like. And I also had a testimony of one of my clients in there, to share what their heart, or what her heart revealed to her, and I shared what my heart revealed to me, to help you to see. And maybe you can glean from some of the information in the book. But it is so true, there are so many people who don't have a clue in terms of how to love themselves. And I remember one thing that was really profound for me, and it might be simple, sound simple to others, is like when I was growing up, they would always say, you can't love anyone else unless you love yourself first. And this was, I guess, when I was a teenager, in my early 20s. And I'm like, why? And it's like, that sounds like a crazy question. Like, why do I have to love myself before I can love someone else? And the reason why I asked that question, it was because I didn't have a clue. I didn't have a clue how to love myself. So the easiest thing for us to do is look for love outside of ourselves, or expect someone else to love us, because we've never been taught. See, my initial experience of love was through, my relationship with my parents. They were the first ones that I experienced love, and then it extended out, to the rest of my family, and then church, people at the church and different individuals. But it was always coming from the outside in. I never learned how to love from the inside out. So it's really, my book changed my life. And I am so grateful, because when I sat down to begin to write my book, I was thinking about others. I was like, okay, how should I, write the book so that other people will be encouraged and inspired. And Belle said, excuse me, no, you're writing this book and you're going to receive it. You have to embody your message. So I had to listen to myself and receive the revelation and the guidance in terms of how to love me. And one of the ways in which I did it was to switch off my thoughts of who was going to experience or receive from the message that is in my book, and experience it and received it for myself.
I love that.
Yes. And that's why I made a promise that if my heart showed me love, that I would share with the world. And so I'm grateful for this opportunity to be able to share with those who I may not have will ever meet or know, to teach them how to love themselves, because their heart is calling them.
Sounds like a very powerful message, and the words of wisdom from Belle through you.
Yes. Don't make me cry.
I'm sorry.
I will cry because it's so beautiful. I am so grateful. My life is totally changed, and I live from my heart. See, that's where the peace that surpasses all understanding comes from right here in the center point where all of the 12 layers lie, right? And so because I live from my heart, anytime there's something that's going on within me that causes me to, I call it, fall out of love, then I'll know immediately, because I'm used to being in that space. And so anything that causes me to shift, I'll stop. This is another practice that I share in the book, or one of the very important practices. I stop, I acknowledge what I'm feeling, I accept it, and then I love myself through it. And one of the things that I do in that moment, I'll stop and I'll say, Belle, what is it that you desire for me to know right now? Because your heart, your feelings is the language of your heart, your soul, right? And it's comprised of your beliefs. What you believe affects your thoughts, and your thoughts affect your emotions. And those three things wrapped together is your feelings. And so often people don't know the difference between their feelings and their emotions. And I remember I used to wonder, like, what's the difference? The difference is those three things. So if you're having low level emotions, which are called emotional blocks, that means I just make it really harsh. You believe in a lie. And your heart's letting you know that is not truth. You're believing a lie, and then your beliefs again will affect what you're thinking, and then your emotions. So if you want to know why you're feeling what you're experiencing when it concerns, low level emotions, or not feeling what you desire to feel or experience in that moment in time, I always say, back the train up. Okay, I'm having low level emotions, like, which are called emotional blocks. I'm angry right now. Okay, so what am I thinking about that's causing me to be angry? And then what is it that I'm believing that's triggering these thoughts that I'm having? And when you do that and you practice doing that, your life will never be the same. I promise you that.
I can agree with that. I totally in alignment with what you just said. And one of the things that is important along that line is when you're in that place of balance and peace, yes, then nothing can interfere with that. And the voice of the heart can come through you.
Yes. Yes. That feels so good. That feels so good. It
right?
does. And that's why it's so important during these times, because it's so much going on outside of us. But when you learn how to go within and anchor in the center point of your heart so that you can experience the love from the inside out, there go again, the peace in the midst of the storm. There's
Yeah.
a such thing. I used to, like I said, I used to go to church when I was a little girl, and I have a lot of scriptures in my heart. But it's that, and I used to wonder, how can you have peace in the midst of a storm? Oh, trust me, my answer has come. And that's how you take a journey inward and tap into that place where the peace is, where, like you said, if you just anchor there and you just get in that place, nothing outside can affect you if you learn how to practice. I call it practicing the presence of love.
Um, I like,
Yes.
because it
Practice.
is present all the time. It is there.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
I just want us to take a second or two before we go to the next question, and just sit with our heart.
Mm-hmm.
And I want people to just absorb everything that you've said up to this point and feel
Yes.
it in their heart. Feel it in your heart.
Yes. Focus and breathe.
Yeah.
Imagine breathing love in and out of your heart, and just breathe.
All right. So the call to love. What does that mean to you?
It's your heart, it's what your heart is calling for in terms of in any given moment to assist you in shifting back, like what we just talked about, into that center point. When I created the heart scan process, it was only two components, or two things that I would I call myself a guide, because I assist individuals and guide them to their answer, guide them on that inward journey. And so the first part was the layers of love. And then the second part was, I would always have them to say, to, connect with their heart and say, what are the layers that need my attention right now? And so the heart will reveal to them which layers needed their attention. And then the next part was the emotional blocks, which is the low level emotions, the blocks to love. And so I would assist individuals with being able to identify the love that they're not, that their heart's saying that's being blocked. But they would walk away and they would do the same thing, and it would either only, just a little experience of the love. And I would say, oh my God, I feel incomplete. Like, I don't think I'm doing enough to help the individuals that I, shared the information or guided them to their answer. And then one day the call to love came, because it's like I need to be able to help them to receive the guidance from their heart in terms of what to do in order to clear the blocks so they can experience the layer of love that their heart revealed to them that needed their attention. Oh, is your heart calling from the inside? Hey, I
Right?
need your attention. This is what you truly desire. And so these are the steps that you need to take in order to begin to demonstrate love to yourself, so that the emotional block can be cleared and you can experience that layer that I just revealed to you that you have not, that needed your attention. Mhm.
So you help people listen. Take that pause and listen so that
Yes.
they can connect. And that
Yes.
they can do whatever healing needs to be done and their heart
Yes.
break open.
Yes.
That's
That's
an
why I call
awesome.
myself a guide. Hmm?
Well, that's an awesome job to have, right?
Yes. It's so
Straight.
amazing. I do what I love, and I love what I do.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So I think we'll close out today. with a live heart scan.
Yes, we're gonna do a mini heart scan.
Many
And
heart
so
scans.
what yes, a mini heart scan. And so again, it's the three parts. The your heart revealing to you. We're gonna have one card because normally I'll have your heart reveal like three layers of love, and then um, we're gonna have your heart reveal to you what's blocking that layer, and then the last one is going to be again, what is your heart calling for in order for you to clear that block? So what I would have you to do is think of something that you may have been struggling with, or something that you desire to know that you've been seeking an answer for, and just keep it in your heart. And so there's three parts to the heart scan in terms of, three levels. I call those different levels or areas, it's like they're called air: abundance, inner journey, and relationships. So A is for abundance of all kind. Inner journey is about you taking that truthful journey within your heart to experience you and your power and your purpose. And relationships, the first and most important relationship points to your relationship with yourself, your heart, and then others. So we're going to focus on the inner journey deck. Okay. So first, I want you to get in your heart space. And did you want to ask your heart what's her name first, or you want to wait and
I'll wait. I
Huh?
think I'll wait.
Okay.
I'll do that on my own, get into my meditation
Okay.
space.
Okay, it'll be a secret until the next time. So what you're gonna do is first we're gonna get in your heart space, because the first question you're gonna be asking your heart questions for each day. And so the same way you said we're gonna get in your heart space. You're gonna focus on your heart, and you're gonna imagine breathing in and out of your heart. And we're gonna find out what is like the primary layer of love that needs your attention surrounding whatever it is that you desire to receive guidance from. So you're just going to focus and breathe, and then you're going to ask your heart, what is the layer that needs my attention? That's the only thing. And then after you ask the question, you say, my heart is open to receive. After you ask the question, my heart is open to receive.
My heart is open to receiving.
Okay, so I'm not going to look at the cards. I'm going to reach over, because what happens is I connect with your heart, and she will let me know. Okay, so your heart is revealing the layer that needs your attention is power.
Oh.
Power. So whatever it is that you had in your heart, that you had a question about, or if it's not manifesting, your power is being blocked. Your power surrounding that situation. Okay. Now we're going to find out what is the emotion that's blocking that layer. Okay. That's keeping you from fully manifesting your power. And again, the power, when we talk about the layers of love, it's the power to create and manifest. So, okay. So now you're going to say, what is the layer that is blocking power? What is the emotional block that is blocking power, your power?
What is the emotional block that is blocking the power?
Okay, so let's see here. What is your heart saying here? Okay, so the emotional block is saying hate.
Oh,
so
no,
this does not.
that's a strong word.
I know, but it doesn't mean that you hate someone. It's like pointing to whatever it is. It's like fortified, like it builds up, builds up, builds up, builds up. So it may be something that you've been bypassing, or you're not wanting to look at it. So when your heart is revealing things to you, and if we don't pay attention, it'll just keep on. It'll continue, and that means that whatever it is, you just probably been tucking it over to the side, or you've been avoiding that situation. So yes, it's like over there in the corner underneath something. So that's what that points to, because I promise you, like when I wrote my book, I did a 12 layers of love for every area, and hate came up, and I was like, wait a minute, I'm the angel of love lady. How can I have hate? And my heart was like, yes, because you have been avoiding you. So it's something. So I know you know what it is too. So because and if you want you desire for your heart to give you a greater revelation in terms of that, just ask her name and then say, let's have a conversation about that.
I'm good about doing that.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
And so it's all good. So it doesn't mean that you have hate, that you hate or anything. It's just that whatever it is, it's so strong because it's been building. So, okay. So the last thing we're going to do is ask your heart, what's the love she's calling for in order to clear this emotional block? So get back in your heart space and just ask the question.
What is the love she's calling for?
Okay. Let's see. Like I said, I'm not looking at the cards. Okay, so your heart is saying, appreciate who you are, be kind to yourself, and allow the power, oh my goodness, the power of love to reduce any and all, eliminate any cravings and or addictions operating in your life. So whatever it is that you're caught up in, it doesn't mean like drug addiction or alcohol or anything like that. It's just something that your heart is saying that totally distracts you from her. It's like, this is about your inner journey. This is about your inner journey. So it's something that your heart is saying it wants you to spend more time, because I know you're a very spiritual person and you connect with your heart and you do it. So what this is saying is that it's time for you to go to a whole nother level. Another level.
Yes, ma'am.
Huh?
I said, yes, ma'am.
Yes. So, it's sometimes like it's nothing, none of what comes through is negative. It's not, because the other thing that I didn't share, the emotional blocks is love turned inside out. It's not negative, because I was like, if everything is as it should be and all things are working together for our good, then how, because a lot of times we will like push against the emotional block saying it's bad and you have to avoid it, but it's not. It's just love turned inside out. And so what happens is your heart is saying, to the level and degree that has been fortified and built up, is to the degree that she's calling you inward, right? And it's saying appreciate and love yourself, because I think you put a lot of things and people before you. Yep.
I do.
Third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh. Yes. So your heart is calling you in. Said this. I'll say it again. Appreciate who you are and be kind to yourself, and allow the power of love. Allow the power of love. See, and I didn't pick this card. And remember, your heart said the layer of love that needs your attention is power. And in this card, your heart said, allow the power of love.
I will do that. I will allow the power of love, I promise. But
Yes.
and I will tell you, at the beginning, when you were sharing the cards, the process before you got into it, the words that came to me was self-empowerment. So that's the power of love, right?
Yes.
And that's been my journey for a long time now.
Yes. So confirmation.
Yes, thank you. That was awesome and amazing. You're the best. Thank you. So, Miss Tracey, where can people find you and your book?
My website is openheartworld.com. And so when you go on the website, the book is on the home page, but you can also click on the tab at the top. It's called the Heart Space, and it's where all my services and products. And the book is in the second part of it, where it is the products part. And so just go to openheartworld.com and click on the Heart Space page. And then also, I would love for those who are watching to also go to the bottom of the homepage and, you know, subscribe so that I can share any events and things of that nature. I'm going to be doing like group coaching and heart scans, and the heart scans cards will be available soon for others to purchase them, because it really helps when you're going through and you're working on building a relationship with your heart, to have your heart scan cards to reveal to you what the layer of love that needs your attention.
That's awesome. Thank you. And it's been a great interview and talking with you today. And we will definitely have to do this again.
Yes, ma'am. I enjoy myself as well. And thank you so much again for the opportunity.
You are welcome. Have a good night.
You too. Thank you.
You're welcome.